Well, that was a much better day, although equally muddy day. Kentucky, obviously, we had a bad result, but in the bigger scheme of things, it may have been a blessing. As I said yesterday, I'm going to stick to that. Makes me feel good about myself. You may also say to yourself, Anthony, is that not the same sweater you were wearing yesterday? It is. Very good eye. I just realized as I saw it in the view screen that it is the same sweater. I didn't get up a little bit late, but I was planning to go home today, and I did get a PCR test today, just in case they bug me at the border, which they didn't last time, but whatever. Plan for the worst and hope for the best. So, great day today with the horses. No, it wasn't. It was a great day today with one horse. I'm going to tell you one thing. If Voyage of Ice and Fire had an ounce of the heart, determination, and sheer work ethic that 1-2 Skip a Few has, he'd have a track record somewhere right now at a real track. He just another very lackluster. Now somebody said, the front end's not holding up. Yeah, the rail's deep, I get it, but come on. How many times can we make excuses for this horse? And the worst thing is, here we are, I'm taking an onslaught of emails from people angry about selling horses in the sale in the fall, and why are we moving the horses, even though you guys know the answer. Listen, I've outlined it pretty well. We're selling the horses. I'm going to try and trade in horses with 6 wins and 50, 60, 70,000 for horses with 1 or 2 wins and 10 or 20,000. That is it. That is why I'm doing it, because as I said, I keep saying this over and over again, but we need to continue to learn from the mistakes we made. You look at the 4-year-olds we kept, 3-year-olds into 4. If they weren't globetrotting, or Path of Totality didn't have a great year, but we kept her a breeder. I did anyway, maybe you didn't. And I know she made a break day. I haven't seen the race. I just saw the text from Tim. He said she ran for no reason. It may have been a longer message, but that's all I read. But we knew, there's a mare, a filly, a mare now that you just can't. She was good, going into today, and if you didn't, but it's hard to explain. I want to blame someone, but it's not easy. I can sit there and talk to Hunter and tell him what's wrong with the filly, or how she needs to be driven. It's a whole other thing to execute that. And you're the driver sitting behind the horse. Just because I tell you she's going to act one way doesn't mean she is. So it's very difficult to explain to people how to drive a horse. Now, look at Path of Totality. You go look at the times I didn't drive her and how many times she stayed trotting or even remotely raced good. Not very often. So I as angry as I am, I'm more angry because I couldn't be in 2 places at once, but obviously I was needed here in Delaware with Skippy, and unfortunately it didn't work the way we wanted for Path, but I can't do anything about that now. It is what it is. So, but as I said, when we kept these 4-year-olds, it was for a plan, right? There was a reason. I know everybody likes the horses, and they're racing good. I read a note on social media today. One of our clients had posted, and I don't think it was meant to be mean or angry. Obviously it's hard to discern on a text, but I don't want to sell a horse like My Jazz. Like My Jazz, virtually what I'm saying is, you tried your heart out. You worked as hard as you could all year, and it wasn't good enough. It was. The problem we run into with My Jazz is she's still a trotter with 120,000 made. I would like to get her wins up to 6 or 7 wins, where it's going to get really tough for her after that. And I know we're going to have a lot of people say, can we not breed My Jazz? You can make an argument for it. Listen, I bred Muscle Chrome. So, yeah, we could. There's not a lot of breeding in My Jazz's family, though. That's the problem, right? When we look at the horses we bred, there's something there, right? Muscle Chrome's family is still good. It's not perfect. We're not trying to build Hanover shoe farms. We're just trying to have some fun, breed some horses. We're probably going to get the shit kicked out of us breeding horses. More than likely, like everyone else that just thought, hey, we're just going to inseminate a mare. We're going to have a foal. We're going to break it, train it down, and race it. Sounds like easy, right? Financial graveyards are built on business models like that. But you know what? We're in the having fun stage. Let's worry about how horrible it is later on down the road when we've bred these mares and get these foals. We'll worry about that then. Right now, we're still in the optimistic, super happy, gung-ho stage. That's where we're at right now. I'm very cognitive of what could happen, and even got me into, I never wanted to breed mares, ever. But, your optimism has grown on me like a wet blanket, and I kept Muscle Chrome. Because she's a horribly slow animal, but she tries. You look at horses like 1-2 Skip a Few, and you look at a horse like My Jazz. Yeah, it wouldn't take a real difficult argument to keep My Jazz and breed her. But then we'd have more mares, right? We are going to breed Compass Rose DC. We are going to breed, and she's well-bred. We are going to breed Path of Totality, well-bred. Now, by well-bred, I don't need a pedigree guru. If you're out there saying, well, she is not well-bred, I have looked at these lines. I don't need, thank you, all right? I don't need the lecture on how well-bred or not well-bred they are. Yeah. But we can't keep them all, is what I'm saying. We're going to wake up one day and have 15 brood mares. We're all going to be broke. So we got to be careful when it comes to why these other horses are up for sale. You guys know. You don't need me to tell you, okay? We're all big boys and girls, and I'm going to make the right decisions, or I'm going to try to make the right decisions. The only thing that allows me to sleep good at night, even if I made the wrong decision, was I thought it was right at the time. I'm only human. I make mistakes. So, as I said, I don't know how I get into this, but whatever. 1-2 Skip a Few was absolutely fantastic. I told you guys how good she warmed up and then post-paraded before they subsequently canceled the races on us at that fair last week. She was awesome. Today, I didn't really know how the race would go. I knew Atlanta Hill would probably leave. I knew that the rail horse would leave. And that's a good filly on the rail. She didn't look super sound today, but she's a good filly, Madame Madeline. I like her. We bet on her last year. I'm not sure if I bet on her sister or not this year. I can't remember. I don't think I did. I think she was in the select set. It doesn't matter. But 1-2 Skip a Few. I knew I was gonna. I tried my. You got to watch her like this, and this is why this is another horse. You can't just say, "Hey, this is how you drive 1-2 Skip a Few." No. She's a very, very difficult horse to drive. If you grab her too quick or get her excited, she'll pace. She'll get out of gear. She'll make breaks. She hasn't made a lot of them, but trust me when I tell you, she will. And coming up to the gate, she's sharp. She's trotting good, but, her mind works quicker than her body. That's a problem of hers. Her determination, her will, her mind works faster than her body allows her sometimes. You got to watch her. That one break she shows in her lines, she actually swung to the pace in the first turn. We tinkered with her shoes again. We actually added a little weight this week, which sounds odd, but we added a little weight this week. She was much better. Now, whether it was the track, whether it was her, whatever it was, I knew she was going to be good, but I still didn't know if I had enough pop to beat Madame Madeline. This filly's coming in on a pretty good racing pretty good. Toes in the water has been fantastic all year. Atlanta Hill won her last start in 57. I know I got to beat the one to make it for sure in the final, but I can't overdrive her, so I got to be careful. It's a very tricky situation to be in. I land down, I can see Toes in the water sweeping down from the outside. I see Brett make a break. I try to grab her very gently in the first turn to let Ryan stall in front of me. I want to follow Toes in the water. It's a horse to beat other than Madame Madeline. And make no mistake, if I had to come first over, she's still a winner. This filly is a killer when she smells blood. So I did drop him in. I wanted to get as best a trip as I could, down the backstretch. I moved her over just to keep her attention. It's funny. I didn't want to run up on top of Ryan Stall and have her get pacey in the straightaway, so I just moved her over a half a length just to let her settle on the track. And then when I finally pulled the trigger in the last turn and let her roll over, let her roll out 3 deep, man, I knew getting into the last turn I was a winner. I knew around the last turn, and you can feel her. It's almost like she's like, don't worry, I got this. she's good. You can just feel her relax. And I moved her 3 deep. It was almost like she looked around and she goes, yeah, I got it. And she's like, she just knew. She's just such a smart, nice filly to drive. And then, I just moved her over and away she went. One just as easily as you could win, earplugs in, trotting away. She's she reminds me a lot of my Jazz, to be honest. Just a treat to drive. So big win for 1-2 skip a few. That secures her place in the fair final. Now, the Buckeye final. The fair final is another tricky situation. I had asked our bean counters. I didn't get a hold of Johnny yet, but I asked Greg, if you're a bean counter out there, where do we sit in the fair right now, and what do we have to do? Because there are 2 fairs left, but that's a lot of homework for her. Now, she didn't do a whole lot today. It was a fairly easy race for her, but that doesn't mean you just go out and race her tomorrow. So where are we? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why I'm telling you this. Because there's a fair in 4 days, and there's a fair a week after. Now, the problem with the one in 4 days is that I'm not going to be here to drive her. So there's that also. So there's a lot to take in, a lot to absorb, and a lot to think about when it comes to one. Listen, we can just forego the fair. Say, I'm not worried about the fair final. I get that. I don't want to leave a dime on the table. This filly wants to make as much money for us as she can. I want to let her. I like money. Don't you like money? Money's cool. So if we can win races with her and have a favorable finish to the year, then man, that would be awesome. She is going to race against. She has to race against Purple Aura. And somebody said, "Oh, and Pete can win there too," but Pete's not allowed in the Buckeye final because she raced in the Sire Stake final. So it will only be Purple Aura and 1-2 skip a few. They both secured positions in the final. She got to race against Purple Aura too, so it's not like there's any cakewalks ahead. I personally would like to explore the fair option, but it would, if I hear back from Greg or somebody today and they say, Anthony, she's like 15th because the head fair is today. She's like 15th on the list. If I'm not mistaken, the fair final's at Northfield, if I'm not mistaken. That means 8. They take 8. If it's at Dayton, they take 9. So if it's a situation where she has to win both fairs to make the final, then that's a lot to ask, especially when I'm not going to be here Saturday. There's not a lot of things take precedent over 1-2 skip a few, but Amy, McDonald, Oliver, Ava, and Addie is one of them. So I'm not going to be here on Saturday. So where does that leave us? I don't know yet. All I know is that today I'm happy. A lot of our clients were here today. Marcia, she only drove 12 hours this time. 12 hours this time. She's coming. We're all going out to dinner. 5 or 6 of us going out to dinner from the stable. I'm going to be here tomorrow. Now, I can't go to dinner tomorrow if you guys are here tomorrow. Obviously, I have Donato Patriot K in Wednesday evening, race 12 at Northfield. That should be fun. Noah's Ark is booked here for around 3:15. It's going to pour rain all day long tomorrow. And then tomorrow night, I got to go to Northfield Park. Thursday morning, I'm going to wake up early and I'm going to go back to Ontario. I'm going to take 3 babies and go back to Ontario, Canada. Going to visit my actual family in my actual country where I'm from. I'm going to be home. The sale in Ontario is Sunday. For the love of God, we had 3 people back out of the buckets today. The buckets are shrinking. They're shrinking. I'm at a loss for words. This company was founded in Ontario. I live in Ontario. We race horses in Ontario. And for some reason, I haven't heard from anybody that wants to buy a horse tonight. I'm telling you right now, if you guys are waiting for me, if you're going to call my bluff and just waiting for me to buy horses, you're going to be sadly mistaken. I'm not going, and now I can go buy a couple of horses at Winback, but not with the same confidence, not even in the same universe as the confidence I had going to Ohio. So I'm not going to look past it, but I'm going to tell you right now, I'm not going to go hog wild and buy a bunch of horses to win back sale. It's just not going to happen. So I'm going to have to refine how we engage you, our Ontario clients, how we, how we speak to you. And I'm just trying to look for a hotel here. I have to go across the road. But I would like to hear from you. Win, lose, or draw, whether you're in, whether you're out, why you're out, why you're in, who's peeping, why you're in, why you're out, and what you'd like to do moving forward. Now, I shouldn't say, I frame that as if people were just leaving the buckets. they weren't technically. The people that left the buckets told me they wanted in on the pricier horse that we are maybe looking at. Oh, goodness. No, it's too far up. It's over here. I don't want to stay down. Gotta be a little frugal. So we actually have about 15 or 16 people on that list that would maybe buy a pricier horse. Now this would be one in Lexington, and if we have enough people interested, I suppose we could have one in Harrisburg too, but I have to ask, where's all the rest of the people at? Do you want to, I don't know the best way to go about doing this. I'm going to have to consult some people when it comes to how we approach Lexington, because I do want some horses out of Lexington. I do want some horses at Harrisburg. We have a number of horses on the ground. A lot to talk about. So I'm waiting to hear from all of you what your thoughts are, what you would like to do, and how you would like to do it. So we have the win-back sale on Sunday. I will be there. Whether I don't have money in my pocket or not, I'll be there. We do have Lexington coming up. So aside from, if you do want involved in the pricier horse, I've looked at the first 2 days. There's 6 horses on my list that would fit that criteria of a horse that's a little more pricey. There are 6 horses on that list, and we still have day 3, 4, 5, whatever. There's not going to be that many pricey horses on day 4 and 5, but there could be on day 3 also. So day 1 and 2 I've looked at. I found 6 horses. I don't want to tip my hand just yet. I want to go over and over and over them again. And when I get a list finalized, I will put it to you, our clients that wanted in on that particular horse, and say, hey, what do you think of this horse? This is what I think it's going to bring. This is what I'm comfortable going to on that horse. And how would you like? You guys know how it works. Now, when it comes to all the other horses, maybe I will make a bucket for Lexington, but again, like a partnership, like we just made for I found a place, like we just made for Ohio, and I think that might suit us all better, I believe. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start putting together hard numbers. So if you wanted in the horse that's going to be a little pricier, what is your comfort level if I was to price the horse at $130,000? Where does everybody want to be when it comes to that? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I guess we've all grown a little bit, right? Where does that put us? What does it look like when it comes to the partnership in Lexington? I have no idea. I don't know. So I guess I'll start working on that. I'll put a note out to everybody. Now this video, obviously I'm droning on a little bit, but I'll put a video out to everybody tonight, asking who wants in the Ontario group, who wants in into the Lexington group, and we'll go from there. So that is where we're at right now. I covered a number of topics. I only started the video to cover one, and that was 1-2 Skip a Few's win. Very impressed with her. Obviously, this is the last start of the year for Voyage of Ice and Fire, and very disappointing year. I'm hoping he'll get his stuff together in 2022 and come forward as a better horse for us, because the one that he is right now is just not acceptable. So there's that. 1-2 Skip a Few proved again how to win races and how to be a good horse, and how to do everything you can do. Just so proud of that filly. She's just a real sweet filly to be around, and just a really tricky horse to drive, but a really not, when she settles in and she's focused, it's laser focus, and she's just a sweetheart to drive. So a great day for us today. It's going to be a monsoon, an absolute swamp tomorrow in Delaware. We get good draws. Oh, I will give you one, if you guys have hung around to the end of this video, one important piece of information. If the track is not what I would deem good for overnight racing tomorrow, I'm not risking racing yes. So if we go and the track, they're scraping it, and it's crappy, and it's muddy, and it's deep, I'm scratching yes tomorrow. I'm not going to race him against Mission Accepted, another horse. It'd be cool to race those horses, and I think we will race those horses at some point. But I'm not going to jeopardize this horse's soundness and everything we've done over the last year and a half to race him in a swampy track. Not going to happen. So if the track is really bad tomorrow, we'll ship him there. We might even warm him up, but you won't see him race. And that is possibly what could happen for a yes tomorrow. And that's just me protecting the horse the best I can, because that is my job. So, we'll talk to all you very, very soon. I know you're getting lots of videos, but this is Jug Week, shouldn't you? I'm busy. You're busy. I haven't even talked about the babies we still have right now. I haven't told you about the new ones that have come in since last we spoke. We're up to 28, I believe now, 28 babies. We got Ontario ahead of us on Sunday, and then, of course, we have Lexington coming up in a week. I got a nice week going up next week. Friday, I plan on being in Freehold. I got to rush back, because Saturday, my wife is going to meet me in Dayton, in Dayton, Ohio. We're going to race So and Sue, and there's 2 horses racing. So and Sue is racing next week, and do we have another horse? Purple Aura. Yeah, Purple Aura races next week in the Sire Stakes Constellation. That's right, the Constellations are next week. Purple Aura and So and Sue are going to race next week in Delaware. I'm sorry, in Dayton. So I have to go to Freehold Friday, Dayton Saturday. I'm going to stay overnight in Dayton with my wife on Friday. Then we're going to go to Kentucky. Now, the reason I'm doing this, Kentucky starts on Tuesday, but it starts for us on Sunday. We're going to get there and do a ton of videos for you, just to let you all know what we're looking at, what we're trying to get, and how we're trying to get it. So, I know everything's kind of jammed together right now, but that's my life, and it's now your life also when it comes to horse racing. We get Jug Week, we get sales, we have Lexington, lots coming up, lots going on. We'll unravel it all in the fall, but for now it's sheer chaos, but we're going to control it as best we can over the next week. So I'll talk to you all very soon. Hope you're having a nice day, although it's probably a rainy day wherever you are, but it could always be worse. 1-2 skip a few was a winner. Take care.